started here. Whoop. I'm gonna go out of gallery. 10, there we go. Okay, so I don't know about any of you, but my upper back is actually kind of sore. I was certainly tossing and turning a little bit last night. I made the mistake of taking like a 3-hour nap yesterday afternoon, so I didn't fall asleep till after 1. And I must have been rolling around in some funky positions because my upper back is a little tight. And lucky enough for me, we've got a warm-up that actually focuses primarily on the upper back today. So it was perfect timing, all right? We're actually going to begin our very first exercise here. Is going to begin. You forget something? Next week we have a class from 11:30 to 1. That'll be with Kelsey. That's Monday, Wednesday. What's that?
It's from 11:30 to 1.
Yep. Here. Yep. 11.
11:30 to 1.
Okay.
I'll try.
Okay.
Because that's your last week, Johnson.
Yeah, except so the afternoon will be Kelsey running those.
Say that again.
So Kelsey will run the afternoon classes. So she'll be here from 11:30 to 1, and then we also have a 5:30 to 6:30 Monday, Wednesday, Thursday.
And that's not good.
No, those are Kelsey.
So the only one this year was 12:30.
So 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and 8 a.m. will be me, as well as the online. Yep.
It's all AM stuff.
Yep.
Oh, well. Okay, well, good luck to you.
Oh, thank you so much, Mary. I hope you have a great weekend. Good. I'll see you. All righty, class. So, as I was saying there, the first exercise I want to go into is going to be our neck rolls. All right. So, if you remember from past classes, we work on that cue of drawing big circles with the chin. Okay. Remember which direction you're going because we're going to go both. All right. We're going to get about 30 seconds in each direction. 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Just drawing big circles there. All right. With that chin, we're trying to achieve the largest comfortable range of motion for the neck there. I'm definitely feeling this already in my upper back. I don't know what I was doing to sleep funny last night or what position I was in, but I'm definitely feeling it. 10 seconds left here, class, and then we're going to switch and go the opposite direction. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and switch. Again, just drawing big circles with the chin. We want to maintain that breathing here as well, just like we do with everything else while we're exercising. Good. 10 seconds left here, class, and then we're going to move into our more upper back focused work. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now from here, class, I actually want to start off small and get larger as we go. If you remember our progression, we start off with our shoulder pinches, okay? Now, if I turn to the side here, we're going to pretend I have that dot drawn on my shoulder, and we're just going to work on pinching the shoulders back and getting that dot to move in a straight line back and forth between our normal position and our posture position. All right, we're going to do that for 30 seconds here. Go ahead. Just work on pinching those shoulders back. Get those shoulder blades to come together. Get that line on your shoulder to go straight back and straight forward as you go back and forth between those two positions. We still got 10 seconds left here, class. Really get a good pinch in there. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now from here, I want to go into our posterior shoulder circles. All right. So now that dot on the shoulder is still there. We're going to work on trying to draw as big of a circle as we can with that dot on the shoulder. Now remember, we only do the backwards roll. I don't think there's any value in doing this. Okay. Because that's the opposite position we want our scapula to be in, our shoulder blades to be in. So we're going to get that posterior roll, and don't forget, we're going to get a little pause, about 1 second right here, and then go into your next roll, okay? We're gonna get about 30 seconds here in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead, get a nice controlled circle. Draw a big circle with that dot there on the shoulder. Get that little posture position. You can even go into an athletic position here. Pinch those shoulders back. Get that little pause there. About 8 seconds left here, class. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now from here, class, I want to go into our shoulder X's. All right. After the X's, we're going to begin to move more down the body with our warm-up. Now, if you remember those X's, we're going to put our arms out in front of us like we're going to dive into a swimming pool, right, off the diving board. But here, I'm going to turn my hands about 45 degrees. I'm going to let my left arm go down, just depending on which way you turn, right? I'm going to let one arm go down, one arm go up. I'm making half of an X, and I'm pinching my shoulder blades together as I get to my full extension, and then coming right back down to the start. Then we'll turn, and we'll go the other way. Now, I'd like to get 20 seconds in each direction here. We're going to go ahead and get started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Doesn't matter to me which half of the X you make to start. Just remember which direction each of your arms are going. Get that good shoulder pinch there. Imagine we're pulling a resistance band. We're holding a band here, and we're pulling it apart, pinching those shoulders as one arm goes up and one arm goes down. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Let those arms come down and dangle for a second if you need to. Let's get 20 seconds now in the other direction. So I'm getting my diving position here. I'm going to go with an offset frontal view. I'm going to turn my hands. Now we're going to go 20 seconds. Go ahead and start if you haven't already. Just making that other half of the X. Imagine that you're pulling that band apart. As one hand goes up, one hand goes down. Pinch those shoulders together. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very nice. Now, like I said earlier, class, we're going to start to work our way down the body. So I want us to find a good athletic position. I'm going to tilt my camera down just a little. And we're going to go into our standing torso twist. So from here, I'm working on getting my lower body to stay facing forward. I'm going to drive this motion with my elbows here. All right, we're going to go for 30 seconds. Let's go ahead. Turn that chest and those shoulders. Try to get about 90 degrees so that your hips and lower body are facing forward, right? My hips and lower body are facing that camera. And I'm trying to get my chest and the fronts of my shoulders to face the wall on either side of me, right? We're imagining we're elbowing somebody in basketball repeatedly, right? Gonna get ejected though. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. I like having the elbows drive that movement because we want that rotation to primarily come from the upper back, right? That thoracic spine. There needs to be some rotation in the lower back, but we don't need a lot. We start getting a lot of rotation down here, we're going to start to have low back pain, right? So drive that motion with the elbows as we go, as we do that exercise in the future. Almost forgot the last 2 exercises. I'm going to find my chair or my wall here, and I want to go into our leg swings, okay? So I have this chair or wall for extra support. We're going to do all 4 sets of our leg swings today. So we're going to go forward, backward on each leg, and we're going to go lateral on each leg, all right? So I'm going to start off, whichever leg you begin with, doesn't matter to me. We're going to go for 20 seconds with each of these sets, all right? I'm going to begin with the forward, backward in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Remember to emphasize the back part of your swing as much as you do the front, right? We're trying to work the front of the leg and the back together. Very good. And remember, we're getting that good muscular work in the plant leg as well. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now I'm going to give a side view. This is still my forward, backward swing. Let's go right into it. 20 more seconds. Just again, working on emphasizing that back part of the kick. We want those glutes and hamstrings to get just as much work as the front of the leg does. About 5 more seconds here, class. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very nice. Now the lateral leg swings, 2 more sets of 20 seconds. Remember, we're getting that leg to cross, the swing leg, sorry, to cross that plant leg, right? We want to work the inside of the thigh just as much as we do the outside. Just make sure that torso is not moving back and forth with the leg. We want to stay nice and tall and just kind of isolate that swinging leg on its own there, okay? Let's go 20 seconds here. Go right into it. Go ahead. Again, cross that plant leg. We're getting good work there in that plant leg as well. So it's a strengthening and balance exercise as well as a dynamic stretch for the upcoming workout. I'm feeling this all the way up through my toes, up to the back of my thigh there. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Let's switch sides here. All right. Same thing. Let's go ahead and go right into it. Ready? Go ahead. I like to point my toes. As I come out, I like to point my toes forward. As I go to cross my body, I like to point my toes in. Kind of point them in toward the direction you're swinging. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now, we're going to go ahead and go into our first superset here. And if you remember from past workouts here, our anterior raise, we're working on isolating the shoulders, okay? So the anterior raise can primarily be done with the dumbbells. If you want to use the resistance band, you can, and I can show you that too, all right? But finding this good athletic position here, we're working on lifting the dumbbells, or we can go without weight too, just like always, but lifting these dumbbells up to shoulder height and back down without any assistance from the rest of the body, okay, especially those hips, right? We want to make the shoulders do all the work. Now, I may have done this version of the anterior raise like last summer, but it's been a little while since I've used it here. We could set up a double leg anchor here with a good athletic position and work on lifting those handles. It's going to be a little tougher than the dumbbells, okay? I will admit to you. In order to make this easier, I'm going to do the same thing I do for my bicep curls. I'm going to make my width narrower or wider depending on what I want. So the narrower my feet are, probably the easier this exercise is going to be, all right? So my feet were about shoulder width apart maybe. Now I'm going to lift up. Now I can get that shoulder height. It's still a lot more difficult than the dumbbells, all right? Just keep that in mind. I'd like to get 4 sets of 10 on that anterior raise, okay? Now, I like to pair that with our lateral leg raises, or I guess I should say, I keep calling it that, but I should call it our hip abduction choice, okay? That's a very technical thing to call it. I'm not very creative with names. I think I've said that before. But our hip abduction choice begins with our outward knee presses. And we can do this with the hands. If we sit up nice and tall, shove the knees out against the hands there, we're going to get some shoulder and arm work there, as well as the work that happens in the outer hip and thigh. We can also use a resistance band. Remember, if you have a band like this, you're going to want to hold it so it doesn't come apart. But if you got a full loop band, that should be pretty easy to maintain. Just shoving those knees out, okay? Now, just like before, we're gonna hold this exercise here for however long it takes me to get through 10 reps on each side of that lateral leg raise. For those of you who wanna do that one, okay? Remember, we're gonna find that chair or wall, and we're working on keeping the torso nice and tall, just like we talked about with those leg swings in the warm-up, right? Except now we're not crossing that plant leg, we're coming out and back in, and then finally remembering that we are not just going straight out, we're going out and back slightly, and then coming back in, right? Kind of the opposite of that lateral raise that we do with the straight arm. In that exercise, we go out and forward. Now we're going out and backward. We're really isolating the muscles we want to work there, okay? So that'll be the exercise we do opposite that anterior raise. There will also be 4 sets involved there, okay? I would like to start with the anterior raise. So I'm gonna find my dumbbells here. Again, you can set up your band. I do believe, though, that anterior raise is going to be a significant challenge with that band, so just keep that in mind if you choose to use that today. But I'm gonna find my athletic position, and we're gonna knock out 10 reps together in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? I'm coming up, all shoulder here, back down, that's 1, 2, nice and controlled here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. That's 1 set down. Let's get set up now for our hip abduction choice, or abduction choice. As you remember, I will pretty much always do the leg raise demonstration. But for those of you who are setting up for the seated outward knee press, I want to make sure you got plenty of time to get set up there. All right. Got my chair and my wall ready to go. And I can't forget, I'm always going to time that set. So I'm going to get started with 10 raises on each side in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? I'm coming out and back. Now back in to start. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Go right into it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. Everybody relax there. 46 seconds on that set. All right. So 46 seconds again, and we're using that time to kind of determine how long we want to do that pillow squeeze later on, right? Because we always want that to be about half of what we do the abduction choice for. All right. So I'm going to get this chair out of my way. I'm going to find my dumbbells. I'm going to go with our second set of 10. Remember, we're doing 4 total. All right, 4 total. Here's set number 2. I'm going to get set athletically, and actually, I'll go with a frontal view this time. All right, we're going to get started in 3, 2, 1. Ready? Coming up and back down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. There we go. I'm getting better at leaving my equipment that I'm going to use back here. I'm closer to this table than I am to the laptop. So I might as well just leave my stuff here and stop going back and forth. But let's grab our chair or wall. Again, I want to make sure that we got plenty of time to get situated with our seated exercise here. Get my stopwatch out. And we're going to try to be consistent with that next set. I'm aiming for the 44, 45, 46 second range there. All right. We're going to get set 2 started, everybody, in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? I'm coming out and back in. That's 1. Get that nice backward movement there too. Very good. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's switch sides, go right into it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. Oh, that was about 48 seconds right there. So I'm going a little long on one of those sets, aren't I? That's all right. 46, 49, those are pretty close. Let's go into our third set, and I'm going to try the resistance band here. All right, I'll keep this over on this table now. But I'm going to try that resistance band version of this anterior raise, and I'm going to go back to my side view. All right, so I'm going to find that athletic position. And I'm going to go quite narrow. In fact, I'm going to have my feet even touching here to really enhance the, I guess, the easiness of this one, right? Because this resistance band is quite a bit tougher. So I'm going to get set athletically with my feet together, which is kind of awkward, but we're going to get started in 3, 2, and 1. I'm coming up, back down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. Yeah, I'm going to stick with one set of that. That was tougher. But let's go ahead and get situated. Oops. Get situated now for our third set. Pretty sure that was our third set. Yeah, of the hip abduction choice. Again, giving a second or two to get situated. I'm going to try to go through that first set. I think it's the first set that I'm taking a little longer on. So I'm going to try to get us back in that mid-40s range for the timing. All right. We're going to get started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Coming out and back in. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's switch sides, go right into it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. Got 46 seconds again. Awesome. That's 3 sets down. Let's go ahead and get our last set of the anterior raise, and I'm definitely going into the dumbbell again. I don't want to scare anybody off doing the resistance band. I probably shouldn't be doing that, but it is a significant challenge between the dumbbell and the band there. I just want you to be aware of that, right? So, also, one of the things I should say, I didn't really feel comfortable doing my feet together like this, all right? So that's something that should probably be addressed there. If you have to go that narrow for a resistance band exercise, it's probably a little too tough, right? I don't know if it's worth sacrificing the width of our feet there on our base, all right? So we're gonna, it'll probably be the last time I endorse the resistance band for the anterior raise. But let's go ahead and knock out this last set of the anterior raise with the dumbbells in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? I'm coming up and back down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. That is it for the anterior raise. Let's knock out our last set of the seated hip abduction choice, or it's seated. Seated is this one, standing is the other one, right? The leg raise. All right, we're gonna try to match this last set here. And then I'm gonna run and grab my pillow because I always seem to forget to grab that for this workout. But we're gonna go ahead and get started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? I'm coming out and back in. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's switch feet. Go right into it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. 46 seconds once again. Very nice. Now, I'm actually going to keep this chair here. All right, because if you remember, every time we do that lateral leg raise, we're going to go into our pillow squeeze. Give me a second here, class. We're going to grab this pillow or donut. All righty. So the pillow squeeze, besides that one set of like 49 seconds, I think the average is pretty much 56. So we'll do about 23 seconds for each set on that pillow squeeze. Just making sure we got good breathing, good posture, all right, as we go, and then making that exercise as intense as we want it to be, okay? We'll get 4 sets of 23-ish seconds on there, okay? Now, the exercise I want to pair with that is going to be that very similar but yet very different movement, right? That hip thrust. Now, this is one where the dumbbells can come into play once again. If we would like them to be used for this exercise, I'm going to have that exact same position, but I'm going to go into that hip thrust now where we get the arms up, possibly even higher than shoulder height, without the use of those shoulders, right? It's going to be all hip doing the work there, okay? So we can do that with the dumbbells. If we want a little lighter option, we can also go with the stability ball. And I really like using the stability ball for this exercise here because we can also get a little bit of and this is a really big ball, so maybe not as much as I would be able to do this with a smaller ball, but I can also get my deadlift position here too as I go into that thrust. I can touch that ball on the ground, get a little bit of a quick pickup and thrust, and back down to the start. All right, but remember, the bigger the ball, maybe a little less pickup that way. I'd like to get 4 sets of 10 to match the anterior raise that we did. Now, one other thing, I want to talk about is the balance challenge that we can also add to this if we prefer. We can do this with the dumbbells or the ball, but if I go into my thrust here, I can also thrust with my feet flat, or I can thrust to the point where I come up on my tiptoes, and hopefully you can see that there. My heels are lifted. Now we're not going to sustain that position up on the toes for very long, right? That's just a little extra part. We can get a little extra hip thrust extension power by also extending at the ankles, okay? And that little bit of time being up on our toes is going to give us a little bit of a balance challenge as we come back down, okay? That is an option we can do. If you feel more comfortable keeping the feet flat, by all means, go ahead and do that instead, okay? I'm going to pin this ball under there, and hopefully it doesn't, well, it's too big to pin. Whatever, I'm just going to leave it. Hopefully it doesn't roll around and scare me like that big blue ball did that one time. Maybe some of you remember that, maybe some of you don't. But I just let the ball roll around behind me, and then it comes rolling out from behind me over in the open floor, and I thought it was a big animal that got loose in here or something. That was definitely creepy. But let's do our pillow squeeze first, class. So I'm gonna get my chair here. I got my quote-unquote pillow between my knees. Gonna check my good posture here. Big chest, pinch the shoulders. And we're gonna get a good tight squeeze here for 23 seconds in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Go ahead. Just like I said before, make this exercise as intense as you want it to be. Don't forget that breathing though, right? Every isometric, we gotta get that breathing. And I always forget to say it in the isometric exercise that we already did for the hip abduction, right? We gotta breathe there too. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. I always remember to say that for the pillow squeeze, but I don't remember to say it for the first option in the first superset. But hopefully you all are remembering to breathe as we do this anyway, right? Because we should be breathing all the time with all of our different exercises, right? So let's go to our hip thrust here. Set number 1, I'm gonna go with the stability ball. We're gonna knock out 10 reps together here. Let's go right into it. Ready? Coming up, get that squeeze of the glutes there in there too. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. That's 10 reps. Now, one thing I kind of tried to squeeze in there after that first rep was talking about that glute pinch, right? Just like we do with the shoulders, we can get those glutes to work even more if we pinch those glutes together, just like with the RDL, just like with the deadlift, right? And with our planks, glute bridge, everything else, right? Think about that glute pinch there. We're gonna go into our second set of the pillow squeeze. I'm forgetting my stuff already. Got my chair back. Set number 2, find that pillow. Very good. Let's just go ahead and go right into this set here. Ready? Go ahead. Get that good squeeze. Hoping I can get 3 sets of our third resistance training superset in there too. About halfway through this set. And then we're gonna go into set number 2 of those hip thrusts. My legs are shaking here. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. Nice job here, class. Get that chair out of the way. I've thought about doing a frontal view for the hip thrust, but I just, it'd just be a stability ball or a pair of dumbbells going at the camera. So I think the sagittal or side view is what's gonna best serve this hip thrust. So let's go into set number 2 here. Let's go ahead and go right into it. Ready? Coming up, pinch those glutes. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. Now, just to kind of add to that glute pinch there, I did one set where I kind of went without the glute pinch and then one set where I really focused on it every single rep. And there certainly is a noticeable difference there in how my muscles feel there after I do that little extra pinch, right? It's just that little extra detail that can really make a difference there in how much work you're getting and then eventually how much strength you're getting as you continue to do that over time, right? So I'm gonna find my good my good posture position here for our next set of our pillow squeeze. Let's go ahead and go right into it. Set number 3 here, I believe. Get that good squeeze here. About halfway through on this one. Very good. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very nice. So like I said, 3 sets down here. Let's go into our third set of that hip thrust. Very good. I'll face this way this time just to change it up. I face that way every single time we do this. Oh, gotta make sure I don't punch my chair though with the ball. All right, let's go ahead and go into this third set. Let's go right into it. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very nice. There you go. That ball is just too big. It just doesn't want to stay under the edge of that table. All right. Got my pillow. Got my stopwatch. Let's do one last set on this pillow squeeze, right? Really work on squeezing that pillow. Get all the intensity we can out of this exercise. I'm gonna get us started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead, get that good squeeze. Keep that posture. About 13 seconds left here, class. Keep it up. That good squeeze in there. Make those muscles work. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. So that's it for the pillow squeeze for today. I'm going to put this one over here. And I'll get this chair out of the way. We are going to need the chair for the next superset if you want it. Okay. But I'm going to go into our last set of our hip thrusts first. Okay, and I think we're going to be lucky to get 3 sets of this next superset in. So let's go right into this last set here. Ready? I'm coming up. Pinch those glutes. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. Now we shouldn't need that stability ball unless we really want it for another exercise here. Maybe you've been able to guess what the next 2 exercises are. Grab a sip of water here, just kind of based on what I've been saying. But the first exercise I want to do today for this last resistance training superset is going to be our Russian twist, okay? Now, if you remember, we've started to do this one for 30 seconds as opposed to 20, okay? I know it's kind of a bigger jump, going 10 seconds per set. I think we can do it, okay? Oops. I'm gonna reset my stopwatch. So just remember, scoot to the front of the chair, make sure you're nice and stable, get that good lean back. Remember, we're not completely relying on the seat back to keep us up here, okay? And then make sure those feet are either on the floor or they're lifted. Just make sure they're not crossed, right? We never want to do this in our core work, okay? Then we can always go on the floor, feet on or off there as well for that Russian twist, okay? So 3 sets of 30 seconds for that one. Now the exercise I want to pair with that is going to be our dumbbell fly. So with that one, I got my dumbbells over here. And if you remember, we have our bent arm set first, so we get that good athletic position with the exaggerated lean, right? We got to have that good lean. We don't want to turn this into something else, okay? So we're leaning forward, got my arms bent at 90 or so. I'm going to make my goal post by pinching my shoulders back, right? Frontal view, same thing, making those goal posts here, all right? Now, if you want to make that tougher, we're going to get that good lean, straighten those arms out, and pinch those shoulders back that way, okay? 3 sets of 10 on that one. And once again, I'll show this just to be consistent with myself, okay? We can grab our stability ball out and go with that core set. There we go. And this ball's a little big. I might not be able to do it that well. But yeah, get those toes and those knees on the ground. Try to keep that back nice and flat, and we can get our fly this way as well. Maybe don't do it on this big of a ball, though. I should have thought that one through a little more. But that is our other progression there for that dumbbell fly, if you want to do it. All right? So let's go ahead and go right into our first set of the Russian twist. I'm going to get my chair ready, and we're going to try to push our way through these 3 sets here so that we have enough time for cardio and the cool down. All righty. I'm going to go ahead and get us started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Lightly touching. Remember, we can go with or without weight here. Holding those dumbbells if you want to. Get nice controlled touches on the edge of the chair seat or the floor next to you, depending whatever you chose to do. Checking my time. We have 10 seconds left. Keep pushing. Keep pushing yourself here. Get that good rotation. Really have that belly button follow. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. That's 1 set down out of 3. Let's grab those dumbbells here. Or again, just like always, we can go without weight. And I'm going to do the bent arm fly here to start. All right? Let's go ahead and knock out this first set. Let's go right into it. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very nice. That's 1 set down each. I'm going to go into that Russian twist, and I'm going to do a frontal view this time. All right, I'm still going to stay in the chair, though. So I'm on the front of my seat. Going to get my feet elevated. Remember, feet on the floor is going to be easier than elevated. Let's go right into the second set here, class. Ready? Go ahead. Get that nice rotation. Get that chest turn, right? Just like we talked about in that standing torso twist. Get that chest turn. Keep the upper body, or keep the lower body, sorry, facing forward. Try to turn that chest to the wall on either side with those nice controlled touches. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. That's 2 sets down there. I'm going to go with the straight arm dumbbell fly this time. I'm going to find my good athletic position with that exaggerated lean. Let's go ahead and go right into it. Ready? Coming out, back in. That's 1. Pinch those shoulders here. That's 2. Keep that back nice and flat. That's 3. I know I'm going kind of fast here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. That's 2 sets down. Now, just look at my time. I got plenty of time. We can kind of slow down here in these last 2 sets. I don't want to rush too much. All right. I want to make sure everybody can keep pace. But I'm going to go with a sagittal view one last time for this Russian twist. And I'm going to go with the feet elevated once again. So go ahead and pick whichever one's best for you. Let's go right into this last set here. Ready? Go ahead. 30 seconds. Again, control your body. Don't just let that weight fall. Don't just let your hands fall to the floor as you're twisting, right? You control where your body goes. That control is a part of your strength. 10 seconds. Get that good rotation. Get that chest to turn here. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. So that is it for the Russian twist. I'm just going to go with the straight arm dumbbell fly to finish off the superset. All right, because I'm not sure how many people are going to be on the ball there, right? So let's get our last 10 reps here in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Coming out, back in. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. So that's it for the resistance training for the day. I want to take this time to quickly go over our 2 cardio exercises that we're going to push through today. The first one is going to be our modified burpee. All right, so if you remember, we're going to do that on the chair, countertop, some other piece of furniture there that's nice and sturdy. We have the option of, once we find ourselves in this position, we can step back and step up. Don't forget your clap, or we can jump back and jump back up. And once again, don't forget your clap there, right? So That'll be 3 sets of 45 seconds. Now, the exercise that I want to pair with that is actually going to be our marching straddle step. Okay, so I got modified burpee, big M word right there, and then marching straddle step, another longer M word. Okay, so got to keep those straight in my brain as I'm visualizing my list. All right, so modified burpee and marching straddle step. So that straddle step is the same cadence as the V step there. I'll turn my camera down a little bit. There we go. So remember, that's just going to be the wide, wide, narrow, narrow. I don't like that. I'm going to go behind the chair. There we go. Wide, wide, narrow, narrow. All right, just like that V step. And then remembering to keep pace there, not going out too far to one side and not being able to go out to the other. All right, that'll also be 3 sets of 45 seconds. Okay, now I'm going to start, I'm kind of encroaching on our cool down time. So let's go ahead and get started with that modified burpee. I'm going to start set number 1 in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Going with the step back here. Don't forget that clap. Very good. Make sure if you're using a chair like I am, that chair is pushed up against a wall or something so that it doesn't slide on you as always, right? If you're doing that step back, you can work on alternating which foot you start your step back with here, right? It's kind of similar to the straddle step and the V step, right? Kind of making your brain work a little bit. Looking at my time, we've got 10 seconds until our first transition. Very good. 3, 2, 1. Relax and reset. Let's go marching straddle step here. All right, just like I said, you can alternate which foot you want to start with. I like to get kind of comfortable with this one and start with the same one. All right, so not as much of a brain coordination challenge there, but remember that's always just an option. Very good. Checking my time. We got 20 seconds left here. Keep up that pace, just like we've been talking about more and more lately, right? Keep the same intensity that you start with, right, at the end. 10 seconds to go. I didn't word that very well. Have the same intensity at the end that you started with. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Relax and reset. Back to that modified burpee here. I'm going to go with the hop back and the jump back with my clap this time, all right? You continue to do whichever exercise is most comfortable for you. There we go. Very nice. Keep pushing here, class. We got 15 seconds left. There we go. Keep that breathing up here as well. In through the nose and out through the mouth. 3, 2, 1. Relax and reset. Marching straddle step again. Get that cadence down. I don't want to say it too much and then mess people up at home there. Just remember that cadence. Keep that good pace, right? Those ways that we can make this tougher. Keep that pace. Get a little more hip and knee bend. And also think about that distance, right? Get a little wider. As long as we're not getting too wide on that initial step. Do whatever you want to do to get as much out of this exercise as you can. We're going to transition back to the burpee for the last time in 3, 2, and 1. Relax and reset. Back to the burpee. I'm going to do a step back again this time. There we go. This is going to take us to the 3:45 mark, and then we're going to get our last transition of the day already. I know I say this a lot, especially lately, but these sessions definitely go by very quickly. I'm starting the warm-up, and then I blink, and we're already on the cool-down. Checking my time here, class. We've got about 5 seconds before our last transition. 3, 2, 1. relax and reset. Last transition here, class. Find that marching straddle step cadence. There we go. Very good. I'm not taking very distant steps, but I'm trying to get a little quicker. Maybe have a little bit of hip and knee bend there. There we go. Keep that up. Hey, we've got 20 seconds left. Keep this pace. Keep this intensity here. All the way through to the end. 10 seconds to go. Keep that breathing. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. That is it for the cardio. Grab a sip of water here. I'm going to quickly go over my cool down. And I'm also, it's not letting me go out of, oh, there we go. I was looking in the wrong spot. I'm going to go back to gallery view so I can see thumbs when we're ready. Okay. All right, see a couple thumbs there. Looking good. All righty, I think we're ready to start. I'm gonna find the full screen and then we'll go back to, gosh. I am not tech savvy. I know I've said that before. I am not a tech savvy individual. There we go. Okay, so going into our first stretch here, right? We're thinking about the exercises we did in the workout. I want to complement that anterior raise here with our back scratch test, all right? Just really working on getting those shoulders through that full range of motion there and helping out that flexibility as well, right? That constant assessment. We're going to go for 20 seconds on each side. I'm going to begin with my right arm going up and over and my left arm going down and around here, all right? I'm going to go ahead and start in 3, 2, and 1 if you haven't already. There we go. I like to do a side view of this one, right? Check that posture. We want to make sure we're nice and tall, pushing the chest forward, getting a good pinch versus being here, right? We want to avoid that bent over position. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Let those arms come down with control, all right? Let's do the same thing now on the other side. I'm going to, oh, that was my stopwatch. Let's get the left arm up and over and the right arm down and around. There we go, or whichever side you didn't do before. I don't know why that startled me. My stopwatch beeps like that every hour, at the top of every hour. There we go. Keep that nice tall posture. Keep that breathing as well, especially for a stretch like this. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Let those arms come down with control. Okay. Now moving on here, I want us to find a spot on the wall. We're going to go into a stretch for all that twisting that we did, right, that Russian twist. And that's going to be our static standing torso twist, right? So we had the dynamic earlier with the athletic position and then going back and forth. If I freeze, right, it's the same thing with the static. Now I'm just frozen in that twist, getting my hands on that wall. Remember, I can go back a little further. I can go up. Whatever you got to do to get that stretch on the opposite side of your torso there. All right, we're going to get 30 seconds. Go ahead and start if you haven't already. We're trying to work on having the hips, knees, and toes look forward while the chest and shoulders are looking at that wall at your side. About 15 seconds, and then we're going to switch to the other side here. Make sure we're continuing to breathe. Keep that good athletic position. I want you to be good and balanced here with this stretch. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very nice. I'm going to reset my timer. Let's do the same thing now to the other side, all right? Just find that position. Go ahead and get that nice twist. I'll show a side view of myself. There we go. You can see my side view, right? This is the side of my body because my lower body's facing that way. But my chest and shoulders are hopefully looking right at the camera, right? Really dissociating the different halves of our body, upper versus lower. We got 10 seconds left. Keep that breathing. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. So we've got our stretch for the anterior raise. We've got our stretch for that Russian twist. All right. We can also go into a stretch for our hamstrings. Okay. Now this one here, actually, I take that back. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right. Let's actually do our standing groin stretch. I want to do that one instead. All right. So the standing groin stretch, we can find a wall if we're already there. That's great. We can also find a chair. And I'm going to go with a wide stance. If you remember, I'm going to put 1 minute on the timer. Okay. And we can go with a lean to one side. Remember, this is my stretching leg, the one that lengthens. The one that bends is my weight-bearing leg. I don't want this leg to get too tired, so we're going to switch back and forth at our own pace for about a minute here. All right? Go ahead and start if you haven't already. Again, you're not just switching when I do. You're switching when you feel comfortable. All right? There's a reason why I want to do this one before the hamstring. Just keep that breathing. Keep that back nice and flat with your lean here. If you see me from the side, right, I'm not hunched over when I lean. I'm trying to keep my chest out, keep my shoulders pinched. Just go to a point of mild discomfort, right? Find that depth that works for you and get that good stretch there. Using that chair or wall to support you if you need to. We've got about 20 seconds left before we move into our hamstring stretch. I'm gonna go back to a frontal view. There we go. 10 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now the hamstring stretch, the reason why I want to do this one after the groin stretch is because I have 2 options for this one. All right, and we've done them before, both of them before. If I'm at my wall or the back of my chair here, I can go into my quote unquote downward facing dog stretch, right? Just our standing hamstring stretch where I have my hands supported by the wall or the chair. And I can then find my RDL position, right? This is my RDL position right here. Hips and knees are bent, back is good and flat. From here now, I'm just working on pushing my hips back and getting a stretch here in the back of my legs. And I even feel that one in my calves a little bit, all right, when I push those hips back. However, this stretch can be kind of difficult for some, all right, especially in my face-to-face classes when I run this stretch. This can be a little difficult to understand or to really get the feeling comfortably. So I always give the face-to-face class the option of doing our classic hamstring stretch, right? And that also means that we're going to be moving to the chair as we have our deceleration of the cool down, right? So try the standing hamstring stretch if you want to. If it's difficult, if you're not feeling it, let's come to the chair and we can do our classic stretch here. We're going to go for 40 seconds on this one, right? Because it's the hamstrings. So go ahead, pick whichever one you want here. I'm doing this, the seated one here. Again, it's just that RDL position. Keeping that back nice and flat, whether you're standing or sitting. I'm going to switch back to the standing one in about 5 seconds here, because we'll be halfway through at that point. There's our 20-second mark. I'm going to demonstrate now the standing one once again. So keep my back flat, get that RDL position, push those hips back, get that stretch there in the hamstrings. Got 5 seconds left here, class. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. So moving on here, class, I like to have that option there because now we have some options that are either sitting or standing, okay? That's gonna take me into our quadricep choice, which is the exact same way, all right? We have some standing or sitting options. Now the standing options for the quadricep are going to be our staggered stance, where we're pushing the hip forward, getting that back leg, or back heel, sorry, lifted. We can go with our standing quad pull, or we can also go with our assisted chair lunge. So if you're already sitting after doing that hamstring stretch, we can just reorient ourselves and go into that assisted chair lunge. If you're already standing, from the standing hamstring, you can go into the quad stretch of your choice from standing, if that's what you want to do. Well, let's get 30 seconds here on each side. Go ahead and choose one. I've already got my timer started here. 30 seconds in each direction. Checking my time. Going a little over again. That's all right. What's new? Chris is going over time again. 10 seconds to go, and then we're going to switch sides. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now I'm going to switch exercises here. I'm going to go with that staggered stance quad stretch. All right, but you keep doing whichever one you want. Go ahead and start if you haven't already. So 2 more stretches I want to get. One of them is going to be that waiting room stretch where we can be in the chair or the floor. And the other one's going to be that seated arm reach across, right? Because we still got to get that dumbbell fly worked on here too, or complemented here in this cool down. About 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. So like I said, the next one here, that waiting room stretch, we have the option of crossing the leg at the ankle, below the knee or above the knee. Remember, we're going to get a nice flat back and lean forward. Feel this stretch here on the outside of the hip and thigh. Now the seated version on the floor is going to be that figure 4 stretch. So now I've got my hips and knees bent. I'm going to cross one leg over. The closer my bottom shoe is to my hips, the more stretch I'm going to get. We're going to get 30 seconds on each side here. All right. Go ahead and start if you haven't already. I'll do the waiting room stretch from the chair for the second half of this one. I can rest my stopwatch on my leg there. There we go. 15 seconds left. Keep that breathing. Try your best to keep that back flat. If you're going with the seated version on the floor, try to keep that back flat as best you can. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very nice. Now continue doing whichever stretch you prefer. I'm just going to demonstrate that waiting room for the last half. All right, go ahead. Now really want to emphasize keeping that back flat if you're in the chair, right? It's important for both. Just a little more difficult to do it on the floor. 15 seconds left. Keep that breathing here as well. Three, 2, 1, relax. Nice. Now the last stretch I want to squeeze in here before we end up our day and end our week is going to be our arm reach across. And I'd like to do this from the seated position. I think it provides a little more balance, especially if you're doing that dip. All right. I don't want that dip to be something that kind of causes a balance issue. All right. So I'm going to get my back nice and flat. I'm going to pinch one shoulder back and then brace the arm across. I'll add that dip here if I prefer to do so. Go ahead. Remember, that dip is just an option to get that little extra stretch there. Hopefully we're feeling this in the upper back. This certainly feels good on my tight upper back here. As long as I'm keeping my shoulder tight, right? It does. This stretch does not feel good if I forget to pinch my shoulder back, right? Because I can feel my shoulder pulling to an uncomfortable range. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Good. Let that arm come back and dangle a little bit if you need to. Let's do the same thing on the other side. I'm gonna pinch my shoulder, bring that arm across, get that dip in there. Go ahead and start if you haven't already. Keep that breathing here. Halfway through, keep it up, keep that intensity all the way through. Three, 2, 1, relax. Very nice. That's all that I have for you for today, class. I want to thank you so much for participating.